The Breach is excited to be teaming up with Nine Line Apparel, a veteran-owned apparel company that celebrates the spirit of freedom, courage, and American values. Go check out ninelineapparel.com for freedom-loving patriotic gear perfect for your family members, first responders, veterans, and active duty service members. When you're done selecting the amazing merchandise and apparel Nine Line has to offer, punch in the code ITB20, that's India Tango Bravo 20, for a 20% discount off your next purchase at ninelineapparel.com. VetTV is a streaming service created by veterans for veterans, with over 30 different series to choose from, including our new series Battle Lab that features special operations soldiers going head-to-head with the newest tactics and threats on the modern battlefield. Into the Breach listeners have an exclusive discount of paying $1 a month for the first 2 months of subscription with the code BREACH. So head on over to VetTV and type in BREACH at checkout to receive this incredible offer for your VetTV subscription. Thank you for listening, and now back to the show.
All right, welcome back to Breaching with the Boys with Ethan Nagel and my amazing compatriot, Nicholas Laidlaw. Nick, good afternoon. Good evening.
Good evening, dude. Good to be back. Another Tuesday. I think this is our fourth or fifth.
Fourth, man. I think it's our fourth total, our third consecutive.
Okay, yeah.
So
it's becoming a habit now.
It's becoming a habit, which is good. Yeah. I dig it. What they say, like 3 weeks to become a habit or something like that. I think 10 days minimum to become a habit, 20 odd some days to become like an official habit. So we are back. We're excited. I mean, honestly, I love doing this. Things are getting spicy all around. You're going to hear our thoughts and so go like and subscribe. Go check out everything, our YouTube channels. Everything's going up on Vet TV as well. So the entire episode, including the exclusive content, will be on Vet TV. So go subscribe, and if you want to get the full episode and then also get some awesome shows on top of that, or go subscribe to Spotify exclusive, or just like and subscribe in general to the YouTube channel. So we appreciate everything. All right, we're gonna try to kick off every episode with a really cool story from Battles and Beers and from warriors that are out in the field, past, present, and future, or past and present, I guess you would say. So kick us off, Nick.
So this week's story is from a Marine veteran from the Vietnam War, from 3rd Battalion, 4th Marines, Vietnam, 1969. He sent me this in an email. This was one of the first Vietnam ones I ever got. So this is probably like late 2019, 2020.
Oh, wow.
So a long time ago. He said, "We had set up on a hill. When we left a position, we buried all of our garbage and filled in all of the fighting positions from the night before. In the morning, we went out to run patrols, all of us. I was walking point as usual. We were staying off the paths to avoid booby traps. I carried a machete and was cutting my way through vines and brush, not being very quiet, but safer. By afternoon, I was exhausted. My platoon commander replaced me at point with another Marine. We ended up heading back to our position from the night before. As we walked back up the hill, we were ambushed by the NVA, who had set up a perimeter on our old position. The guy who replaced me at point walked into a blast from a Chinese claymore mine. It blew his head and both his arms off. His flak jacket protected his torso, but that was useless at that point. The NVA fired at us for a bit and retreated back into the jungle. We cleared the hill and called in medevac helicopters. Another Marine and I had to roll up our point man in a poncho and carry him up the hill, where he was eventually evacuated by helicopter. I knew him, and I remember what he looked like, but his name is erased from my mind. This experience has haunted me for over 50 years. Why him and not me? Why am I alive and he was blown to pieces in my place? I honestly believe that God spared me for a reason and that I am not aware of. Since then, I've tried to be a good person to repay the favor." It's from M. Wenzel, 3rd Battalion, 4th Marines, Vietnam, 1969. Yeah.
Wenzel. Buddy.
Yeah.
That's say have a drink on us, bud. But I don't know if that's probably what he wants to do. But that's
Vietnam
wild.
guys, man. They had it different.
Yeah, they did. Like, that's the mad respect. I was on a Carnival cruise last month, and they do really well with veterans. It's a big, so they support veterans. They have like heroes lounges on the Carnival cruise ships, and so I went to the vet. I didn't know it was quite happening. My in-laws are like, hey, why don't you go check out the veteran get together? And so it's honoring veterans. And so I went to that, and it was actually really cool. And then come to find out, a lot of these veterans go on a lot of cruise ships. It's like their therapy. It's like it gets them going. One woman had been on like an ungodly amount, like 100, a few hundred or something like that. And she like knew the entertainer personally, and she gets groups of veterans to go on these cruise ships. But it was cool though, running into guys from there's a Vietnam tunnel rat, and I love it too because they're becoming that generation with like the hat, kind of like I remember my grandpa from Korea having the Korea War hat, always wearing. And obviously those guys too. It's like Vietnam, and one guy was a tunnel rat, and a few of them from Vietnam, and then Desert Storm, like Somalia, and then a few from the GWAT. Okay. So I was one of the younger ones, even though it's been 20 years, which is pretty wild to think about. So, but it was cool seeing those, and it was like one of those things where like. It was actually, I've always wanted to do it, and it was just a group of them, so it was cool to like be like, I took the microphone because like they handed it around, and I was like, hey, always wanted to thank you, you guys, the Vietnam guys especially, we looked up to you guys, you're legends. So a lot of them appreciated that, that was kind of cool.
Yeah, I usually try to tell them welcome home whenever I see them. Out in public, out in the wild.
Yeah, and like I said, that's. They're what they did was just, man, like the amount of combat that they saw, the amount of stuff that they did, and then the
environment that it's in, like that for me is like worst case scenario. Like,
jungle sucks.
The humidity and the bugs. Like, I remember, because we spoke I think it was 2 weeks ago, how I spent some time in Cuba, and like the worst like night of sleep in my life was out at the rifle range there, and I was like sleeping. Just like in my underwear, basically on top of my isomat because it was so hot. Because it's like right on the equator, and it was just like bugs all night long. I probably slept like 5-10 minutes. I remember one guy like 2 Marines down from me like sat up and just started crying at like 3 in the morning. I was like, bro, I would make fun of you, but I want to cry right now too. So
yeah, it's like it just breaks you. That's sleep deprivation.
Blows, dude.
Yeah, it like breaks you so bad.
Yeah, but
like
I'm actually going to Vietnam in like 2.5 weeks. So
yeah, you're taking off for
I'm stoked,
your.
Dude.
Honeymoon. Fun. Excited for you. Gonna have to have Chris. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna have Preston fill in for you. You enjoy your. Right, he's just gonna talk for like 5 hours. But Preston, we gotta cut it off. No, yeah. Well, speaking of, we'll hop right into it. It is Tuesday, March 24th, 2026, and the Iran conflict is escalating. I've here. Let me pull it up. It's here. Screen and then window. Nope, that's not it at all. I'm slowly getting better at this. The troop escalation is. Oh man, wow. I'm getting there.
Everybody's watching.
Everyone's watching. Yeah. Oh, they're like, I can't believe I subscribed to this dipshit. There we go. All right, here we go. And almost there. Share there. Okay.
One of our own like Joe Rogan guys. What's his name? Jamie.
I know.
Jamie, put it on the screen, Jamie.
Well, it's like I'm also trying to
hold it up.
I know. I'm pulling up, and I even because typically it'll do like, hey, pull this up, and wow, I'm really butchering this right now. I'm trying to like expand this. It's not letting me. All right. Well, here we go. I'm expanding it here. All right. So we got. It was from Northern Precisions. Now this was a day ago, but we've also got some more updated stuff. This kind of like what leads into this kind of stuff, but it got breaking. American military personnel and contractors are reportedly withdrawing from Baghdad Diplomatic Support Center, Victoria Base, previously Camp Victory, which is adjacent to the Baghdad International Airport. The move was made to mitigate risks to American coalition personnel, as Iraqi PMF and Iranian drones have been constantly targeting the complex. That's actually kind of basically that was happening. And then, did you see the Iranian
FPV drone?
Yeah, FPV fiber optic.
So there were a couple interesting things I noticed about that, and it's all like pilot related, and it's weird because it's like I'm watching a drone pilot from like 2022 Ukraine. You know, like very amateurish, very not confident in their flying ability. Like you can see a lot of the time he's just like struggling to keep it straight.
Yeah,
he's not really flying in any sort of like search pattern, anything like that, not flying like over roads, so like if something appears really quick he can just dive right onto it. It's just kind of randomly searching around. It's interesting seeing like amateur pilots compared to the guys who have like 800 plus hits with now.
Yeah, in fact, here is I will share it right now. I got it pulled up here on, of course, Instagram's the place to go. There. Pull that up. Ah, there it is. See?
Yep.
FPV footage of U.S. Victoria Base. Reports say FPV drone allegedly launched by pro-Iranian Iraqi militia flew into Camp Victory in Baghdad and struck a building inside the base. That's pretty wild. I mean,
like they couldn't even hit the door directly, though, is the thing.
Yeah.
They hit the side of it. So
well, I mean, you know,
it's a stationary.
Yeah.
You're flying with a fiber optic. I don't know what the wind speed was there, but yeah, I don't see any like dust flying around on the ground, anything like that. No trash going across the roads. It just looks like a new. They're like, all right, Abdul, like you're the one flying the drone. Like, figure it out.
He's probably like, what do I hit?
Oh man.
I know, right? Well, that's the other thing too. Is like you can see him flying here, and there's plenty of targets, you know. But it's like, which one do you choose? And clearly this also feels like, holy shit, did we actually get this through? You know, it's like, we didn't think we'd get this far. So they haven't.
It worked.
Yeah, it worked, you know, and they're kind of like, oh, shit, we actually have to hit something. You know,
hit that building. It looks important.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. But were there any U.S. troops there? Because I think reading like it's not like an Iraqi base.
Yeah,
that we had previously manned and now we're not manning.
Yeah. See if I can find it right away.
But
yeah,
I don't know. I think we are way underprepared for that type of warfare.
Oh, 100%. I agree with you. 100%.
Like even Zelensky made some interesting points about like how we're intercepting Shaheds. Like he sent some guys to the Middle East and they observed like 9 HIMARS or something, you know, intercepting one Shahed. Yeah. Like what are those, like $3 million a piece?
100. Yeah, exactly. And well, the interceptor game, I mean, it costs like what, 5-10 grand for those things, and they're intercepting at least Shaheds. And by the way, too, I'm not saying, I mean, Ukrainians are used to this, and I guess like I was talking before, like we said last week, it was frustrating seeing our people get killed. But I don't know if that was a Shahed that killed the
I think it was a missile.
Yeah, I think that was a missile.
I feel like that was too many casualties to be a Shahed. Like a Shahed could like blow up like a wooden house, but it's not gonna like destroy an entire complex.
Exactly, and I think that when it comes to Shaheds, though, you can shoot those down with 50 cals. Like
you shoot them out with AKs.
Yeah, or AK, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, when Chris and I were in Dobropelia last May, like random points in the night, there's like guys like outside in their underwear just shooting down Shaheds or shooting at them.
Yeah. Let's see, not in regs, Yeah, and that's what I mean. Like, I feel like that's when it comes, it's like the simplest thing works. We don't need to spend $3 million Patriot missiles on Shahed drones.
Do you know how much fun a line company would have just with like MRAPs? With, shooting down drones. Like that would be like a fun watch, you know?
Exactly. And it's also one of those things too where it's like, you get, I don't know if you guys ever, so what we do is we take the Mark 19 ammo cans, which for everybody that's out there listening, Mark 19s it's an automatic grenade launcher. It's a 40 millimeter chain linked, and you just it's awesome, right? But what we do is we would take the cans of the Mark 19 because they're so much bigger than 50 cal cans, and we would stick like 300 rounds or so, it might even more than that, of 50 cal, and then you slap a 50 cal into the the turret, so you would have an insane amount of ammunition. So basically you could when it comes to shot heads or something like that, like it's something that's that simple, like have the line of guys, have a backup line, and then okay, hey, it's coming down, we see it, and then they start engaging, and it doesn't cost $3 million. And now granted, it's like UAE and all them were getting hit way more, I think. It would be interesting to get the real numbers on Kuwait, like how many have actually hit, like Ali Al Salim, Beering, Arif Jan, and sad that I knows that. It's sad that I know that because I was actually did a deployment there. So, but
I like Beering when I was there. We stopped there on my Mew for like 2 weeks. It was nice.
Yeah,
it was a nice break from the boat.
I was going to say Beering is a nice break from a Marine Corps boat. It's the shittiest place to be when you are actually stationed in Kuwait. It was like AJ was like the nicer base. It was like we had all like a really good like fast food, and then he had MWR was pretty decent. We had like 2 gyms. The PX was bigger. It was just like much better. The amenities were way better. But anyways, all right. So let me switch this over here, and kind of the big news of the day. Let's go back to this. So here we go. All right, not in regs, because we get our sources. We get our news from very reliable sources. All right, but not in regs. I mean, everyone was posting this, but orders have just gone out for the 82nd Airborne to deploy to the Middle East in support of Operation Epic Fury. President Trump's Department of War is keeping the operation full steam ahead for maximum leverage over the regime. Orders have been given for the 82nd Airborne to deploy as of now. The commander and his headquarters element, his staff, will leave soon for the Middle East to begin assessing what will be needed once the target is assessed, which is wild. So, yeah. I don't know, man. I was talking with Joe England yesterday, or on Sunday when he was here.
Yeah.
And it's his overall assessment was that I don't think he's trying to be optimistic, but I think he is a little bit more pessimistic. He's like he doesn't think that the Iranian is going to rise up. He doesn't see the window. Even if it's in the next 2 weeks, he's like I don't think I don't think we're going to see it happen.
The longer this goes on, that's more my thinking as well. And I think the regime change goal, the tentative goal from the beginning, is probably not on the table anymore. Because what like Trump, I think yesterday or the day before, was talking about how they had great talks and stuff like that about Iran possibly coming to concessions. It's like that doesn't happen if your goal is regime change. Because by talking with them, you're further legitimizing it.
Yeah.
Which I disagree with personally. I think if we're gonna do this, we need to fully do it. Justify the losses that we have had so far. But I don't know how. I'm not the Secretary of War.
They're not stupid.
I
think people think that they're just like not acting without a plan. I think the plan is ever evolving. I think the press wants like, oh my God, we said regime change. No, it's no. What if they go day to day, and it's just like, now Iran, it could fall. Well, the next day the IRGC is doing, you know what I mean? Like the intel that they're getting is so much better than us looking up Instagram and Telegram. You know what I mean?
That's what I try to keep in mind. Because at the moment, I'm not looking very optimistically at the future of what this is. And I've ran 3 polls now, and that's reflecting in the votes as well as confidence in a positive outcome for us in this is it's bottoming out.
Yeah.
I think we had 10% or something that support the actions now, and almost everyone thinks that we don't have an actual plan sort of thing. So.
Well, I think too. I mean, and here's the thing: maybe they thought that I wouldn't say it was going to be as easy, but maybe they didn't think it would be as, because I think they were reported at one point they didn't think that Iran again was going to close the Strait of Hormuz, because it would be a detriment to them. And like, if some people are like, I can't believe they didn't think of that. No, they thought of it, and also, we don't know exactly what's going on. I mean, everyone's saying the insiders, blah 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 blah, but it's like, if you make a prediction or you say, hey, we think the most likely outcome is for them not to close it because it would be a detriment to them, and then they close it, you're like, oh, we got it wrong, like we have to plan for the contingencies, and they're blowing the shit out of everybody that's going through. So I do think that when he was asking for NATO and other allies to help protect the strait, I think that's like, obviously he's like, hey, you guys need to help out. And they're like, well, we don't want to. But it's also at the same point, like, why don't you protect your shipping lanes? Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, it's not that you care to hop in on the war with Iran or the conflict or operation, whatever you want to call it. You should be helping out because your ships are going to get burned, or they will explode. Maybe you should help that out. Now we are. I mean, we got A-10 doing gun runs at Apaches, just absolutely smoking shit up and down the coastline. So I don't foresee the Strait of Hormuz being an issue. In fact, I don't think is it open now? I don't know. It's going back and forth. Yeah.
Like the Washington, some major news today, like published like some insider information from the Pentagon saying like that's the major war aim right now is to open the Strait of Hormuz.
Mm-hmm. Which I see happening. Like, it's not, I don't, like, oh my God, the Iranians, like, we destroyed everything. So it's, and again, how effective can be some dipshits running around putting mines in? Apparently pretty effective. So let's mop that up. But yeah, I know with this, when it comes to this ground game, you're seeing the troops being deployed to the Middle East, the Marines getting deployed, or getting activated. That's, I mean, it's a sign. We're projecting though. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I think it's more of a projection.
Yeah.
To deter Iran in some way. Perhaps maybe it's just more weight for us in negotiations where it's like, hey, we've got like 10,000 ground troops like ready to just enter your country.
Mm-hmm. Also, too, it's like, and really too, when it comes to like regime, because if you're looking at this like holistically, who does take over, right? Is it a less crazy Shah? Well, we've been killing everybody left and right, And I think what I did appreciate about Joe talking about, like, there's a lot of hardliners left in Iran. There's a lot of, pro-Westerners, but they've been subjugated for 50 odd some years. Sometimes when you're beat down, you're just beat down. So, unless you can somehow facilitate an uprising with, literally dropping weapons into the hands of these people, because I don't think they're going to open up I don't think they have the planning or the logistics, and maybe I'm saying I'm wrong, to coordinate that, to open up the armories. I don't think they
do. I think we're beyond that point. I think if there was going to be regime change, it should have been when the protests were happening.
Yeah.
I just feel like again, this is just observing, like not an expert in Iran at all. But I feel like, like if there was going to be some sort of like legitimate regime change, it needed to be during the protests, before 30,000 people got killed in 2 days.
Yeah.
Or right after that, when the people are still fired up, because now it's like it's a month later, more than that. And, patriotic feelings, they die out hard quick sometimes.
Yeah. But you would think that'd be a pretty
tired, and it, like, look at Ukraine, for example. Like the unity that was there, and then that died out pretty quick. Like now, like half the country is like, we should just secede the Donbass and be done. But I can't really blame it. It's been 4 years. It's a lot longer than a month and a half. So I don't know. Maybe be more like Ukraine.
See, that's the thing, is like, you would think the bombing would be like, I mean, they're getting stoked the first week. You see all the pro Iranian, not protests, they're, rallies, I guess you would say. But people in the country have to be ecstatic. You know what I mean? Like, it's one thing for Trump to say stuff on X, and they were all getting amped up during the protests in January. It's another to literally see the world's #1 nation wiping out your entire, cabinet of IRGC, or at least the hires, and targeting, naval, Air Force, everything's gone. The Artesh, which is the ground crews, the ground troops, are the only thing they haven't really been hitting. And so I don't know, like, again, maybe they're getting intel that we're not, and it's just like it, or like I said, or maybe it's just not going to happen, because you would think that there would be a lot of support on the ground now. Because you think about it, like if you did the protests a month prior and you saw a bunch of people get killed, there is a point, which I agree with you, that'd be like, they're not coming, or I just saw 30,000 people get murdered. But then the U.S. starts obliterating your government, all these big players, and that's got to count for something. You know
That's
what I mean?
what I'm thinking too.
It's got to count for. I mean, you've thought those
we also have no
protests
idea what's going on. Like, there's a blackout
That's true, yeah.
there. So, like, again, I'm trying to keep in mind, like, I'm giving opinions about a population I can't even see.
Yeah.
Right now, it's not like Ukraine, where it's like I can scroll on Facebook, TikTok, so many different social medias and see like the direct opinions of people on the ground.
Mm-hmm. Did you see the Iranian? It was coming out. I saw video of it, and I don't know how true it is, but video that was being shown of people killing Basij. They were doing like videos.
No, I didn't see
and
that.
it was getting out
That'd
of
be sick,
Iran.
though.
Yeah, it was. They're like the Basij is standing on corners, and they're just lighting them up. They're just shooting them. So they're shooting them. They're not even. It's not even the IDF bombing them, because the IDF are releasing the videos of them bombing Basij, which is the volunteer force of the IRGC, which are even more hardline. I mean, they're just as hardline as the IRGC, but they're not paid. But that's how they kind of keep their tabs.
They're like
on
the
people.
civilian militia version of the RGC.
Exactly.
Is my understanding of it.
And now people are shooting and killing them, which means if those videos are true. Wish I would have bookmarked them. Of course I didn't. Because it was like every time I'm like, oh, do I got stuff for today's show? And I'm like, yeah, there's 50 things like 3 days ago, and I just, I try to screenshot, or I totally
usually I do the same thing. I see something that I know I need to come back to, I screenshot it, and
yeah, I'm starting to screenshot more.
Yeah,
but yeah, it was them shooting them, and I was like, oh, okay, like maybe there is stuff happening on ground that we don't know about, because I mean these are pro-Iranian accounts. But
so there is like a touch of propaganda in everything that we're watching. Like you can just look at like the White House. Like very, very propaganda. Everywhere. So it's something to keep in mind too. The truth is usually somewhere in the middle. But I would definitely believe that the Iranians are like rising up in some form. I'm not sure what it is. Whether it's like just cutting fuel lines of vehicles or texting locations of these missile silos to the Israelis, who knows? But
yeah,
I'm sure there's something, but we're just not able to see it. So I'm trying to withhold a negative opinion on that until we know for sure. But I do think the window is closing for a legitimate regime change. Like that. Yeah. That is still an opinion that I have.
Mm-hmm. I agree, and that's the thing too. Is like I was looking here on Instagram, just real quick at Basij, and the videos we're getting out of Basij, like the Israeli drone strikes and stuff on them from cell phone footage on the ground, not just IDF, footage. They're a little bit older, but again, it's one of those things where, it would be great to see a regime. It would be great to see a fight. I would be happy to see a fight. You know what I mean? Like. They're going for it. The cell towers open up, and it's just all hell breaks loose, and you're in, But I think some people were like, "Well, do we want that?" And there'll be a power vacuum, and a lot of people are going to die. And it's like, well, at least you gave them a shot. I don't know. Sometimes, if it goes sideways, it goes sideways. Yeah, they deserve a shot.
I think they deserve a shot. Like we've seen in the Middle East, like since the '90s now, of like how sideways these things can go. Mm-hmm. But we can also see Middle Eastern countries that are like prospering. Mm-hmm. So I think they deserve a shot at removing that dictator and installing whoever they choose next. Because I agree with Joe that a ground invasion from us delegitimizes any government that comes afterwards, because it can just always be argued, oh, you're not a real government, you're just puppets installed by the Americans. Yeah,
and they got to fight it too. I mean, that's a lot of dudes. It's a lot of hardliners. It's 160,000 hardliners against 5,000, Marines, or honestly, Iraq had its own stuff, but I mean, it would be a hell of a fight. You know, these guys are crazier than the Iraqis when we, you know, like when they talk about like the Ba'ath Party and they weren't as hard lined as people, you know, they weren't fanatics. Like these are fanatics. So
I don't know. Send Tim Kennedy and he'll get it all out.
Yeah, get Tim Kennedy in there, dude. Yeah, and that's the thing is I just don't, you know, I'm very positive. You know, we're given everything, but I think that is 2 weeks, and basically they're going to make the call in the next 2 weeks because now we are coming up on 4 weeks here in a few
4
days.
to 6 week timeline we got given.
Yeah, which by the way is still pretty wild. Like I think that annoys me about our culture and our time hacks in the West. 4 weeks to wipe out an entire country's military capabilities, you know, and then wipe out their entire cabinets and wipe out all their leadership. You know what I mean? I mean, it's like that's still a hell of an accomplishment. That's a win. You know, if people are like, I can't believe, you know, if Trump like walks away next week and's like, you know what, we did it, we won. I'd be like, yeah, you're right, we did. Like we did. Like, tell me what we didn't accomplish. You know, and they're like, well, regime change. It was like, well, do you want to do regime change? Like, you know, and if that's not the goal anymore, because goals change or objectives can change. You know, if they're like, hey, regime change, we thought we could do it. Nope, we're going to avoid it. Wouldn't everybody be happy? You know, but they're not going to be. They're going to be, see, it's a failure. It's like, it wasn't a failure. It was quite actually successful. You know, it sucks that we lost people, but that's, you know, an operation that cost the lives of 12 that might potentially free an entire region of the world. I mean, that's a good trade-off. And the other thing too, I was going to mention this to you. I think, and now it depends on what their opinions are. You know, that's why I was kind of wondering if you had any word from those guys. But I was like, everyone's kind of like not feeling this. Like, you know, me and you are kind of like, hey, we're for this, but like, let's not do ground troops. Let's you know, let them play it out. Maybe
that's my opinion on that.
Yeah, same. Yeah, I'm like, you know what? I don't want ground troops either. But then the infantry, Marines, and the airborne are just like, send me in. You know what I mean? Like, how pumped? Because I would be. I mean, dude, if I was infantry, I'm like, this is it, man. Send us in. Like, everyone's like, no, we don't want to. It's like, fuck you, I'm going. You know what I mean? Like, I will die for the Iranian cause.
That
you know what I mean?
Describes this meme. I'm going to text it to you, and you can pull it up anytime during the show. But this is exactly most of the Marines who have been texting me. Because one of my buddies, he got activated, and he's like on a boat there right now.
Ooh.
And he's like that.
He's like ready to go.
Yeah, he's ready to go. Let me find this meme and send it because I made this meme.
That's what
like,
I mean, man.
I made it probably like a month ago, and now it's super relevant. Oh yeah, here it is.
Because that dude, there's those. Everyone's like, we shouldn't send our troops. How do they feel? I'm like, you know how they feel? They're so amped up right now. They're so pro-Iranian. Down for the cause. Oh yeah, they're so down for the cause. Here, I'll pull this up.
Yeah,
it's
one of my best performing memes I've ever made.
Yeah,
I think I shared it on like the second day of the war.
Yeah. Oh come on, what are you doing? And like I said, those guys are for it. Here, I can pull it up. Window.
But yeah, you know, like no matter what people's opinion, I can't knock them for having that because I was the same when I was 18, 19. Like,
yeah, here it is.
Yeah.
And if people that can't see it, it says pretty much everyone, war is terrible. We should do everything we can to avoid it. 19-year-old infantryman eating a bowl of cereal that says war is good.
War good.
War good.
Like an animal just eating cereal.
Yep. Dude, like I said, I'm all for that.
War good.
So, and that's what I'm saying is I the worst place always when these things are kicking off is to be in the infantry because they're just like, I'm never gonna go, and now Trump's like activating them to go, and they're like, oh shit, are we gonna do this? You know, like, and I mean, I don't think so. I'm sorry, boys, if you're listening to this, I don't think you're going into Iran. You might hit Karg Island, maybe. But even
if
then,
they go to Karg, they're just going to eat like a ton of shot heads and FPV drones.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's not a lot.
You think so? You think they with the FPVs? You think?
I think they could put them on boats with relays and send them in like the Ukrainians and Russians are doing.
Yeah, but you think
I think it's more realistic than it not happening at all.
Well, do you think they have do you think they have the logistics and the command and control to do that?
The Russians do.
Yeah, but I mean that's the Russians though.
And they got dudes starving and dying of dehydration. So
yeah, but I'm saying they've been fighting the Ukrainians though. I mean the Iranians haven't exactly been. I mean, like look at us, right? Our boys are about to
figure it out. I think they'd. I wouldn't put it past them to try it.
Yeah, but we're also like nuking all their supply lines. That's why I'm just curious. Like if this was like I don't say a different fight, but like I don't know if they were putting up a much bigger fight. Because right now we're running unimpeded in the air, so I could see that, maybe. But
we're also pretty unaware of the condition of their ground forces at the moment. Mm-hmm. And when you're thinking of drones and stuff like that, it just takes a couple guys sitting in a basement somewhere.
That's true, but again, though, we're used to Ukraine. Though, think about it. Like if we send our guys out, the U.S. does not have that capability. We do not have fiber optic drones, and they are not deployed with their guys. And we don't have the logistics to support it to get them like to them right now. That's the only reason say like I think Iran has been watching like we do, but now they're fucked because I don't think they have the supply line. That's my take.
I think they'd.
You think they could?
Again, I'm not an expert on this at all. I'm literally just like a dude who like got involved in this in the last like 6 months.
Yeah.
Like specifically that part of the world. Mm-hmm. But I don't know.
It's a big country, though.
I wouldn't be surprised if there were Marines or airborne guys on Karg Island and there were a couple like FPVs flying around.
Yeah, that I could see. I mean, like you mean from us, like
from them, like from the Iranians. Mm-hmm. As far as us, I don't think we're leaning into that technology as much as we could be. There's definitely some like progress I've seen. I've got some buddies who like. Work as contractors, like developing drones for the Navy, and he sent me some videos they were doing at a training site a couple weeks ago, and it's getting there.
Yeah,
it's not as proficient or cost effective as like the Ukrainians or the Russians, but it's like there's people in the government looking at that technology.
Yeah,
but they're not utilizing it nearly in the same way. A lot of it is still like the 2023 style of tactics and equipment that the Ukrainians and Russians were using, just more expensive. It's like, our drone is only $20,000.
Yeah, exactly. I always feel like it has to be more expensive. Two, you overthink it, and then you're still fighting the military industrial complex beast. Even though people are like, we need to do this, they're still going to try to kill it or drag their feet at every angle. Because look now, I think the Iran war has pushed back the U.S. drone development significantly.
I would agree for the lack of a ground element.
Exactly, and also
now
the
funding. Mentality is, we don't need this because our planes are just going to knock everything down.
100%. They literally go, I think generals are starting to look, and they were avoiding it for the last few years, and now they were finally getting forced to look at it from Hegseth, coming from that funding coming down. And then this kicks off, and they're like, forget about that. This is why we need multi-billion-dollar warships and missiles and sophisticated equipment in the F-35s. Now, don't get me wrong. It's very impressive to see all that actually being put to use and actually kicking ass with it. 1,000%. But I think it did put a very important tactic and equipment, which is the FPV and drones in general back probably a few years.
Like air support isn't always the answer either.
No.
And like like personally, like from like Iraq and Afghanistan, you're not always going to have something on station to help you.
Yep.
But if you could pull a drone out of your backpack and fly it into a house, instead of sending a fire team over there to go make entry on the building, like why not?
Yeah, exactly.
Save lives.
Yeah, or even just like when it comes to drones in general, like support drones, you know what I mean? Like you could have ISR drones that are literally dedicated just to the company. Like right now I could less than $1 million, I could get 2 very sophisticated long 12-hour loitering VTOL drones from a outpost that would support Marine infantry squads as they go out with dedicated video feeds into the talk and ISR support for, on constant rotation 24 hours. And you don't see it. The Marine Corps did buy some stuff like that, but you haven't seen it being implemented into the squad level because clearly it's getting stopped somewhere. You know what I mean? It's there's, things are getting hemmed up somewhere along the line by commanders or, it's sitting in a warehouse somewhere. And only one unit's doing it. It's not being utilized across the entire military or say the Marine Corps or the Army, So
I think a lot of it is also the way I would describe it would be like the World War I general's attitude, where it's like, oh, back in my day, this is how we fought war, sort of thing. It's the Marine and his musket,
Yeah.
And times change, man. Like Chris is always harping that on his Instagram. It's like the times are changing. You either get with it, you get groovy, or you get dead.
Yeah.
So like it's like sending cavalry at machine guns.
Yeah.
No, so I think we need to look into drones a lot more than we are, because you see how effective they are with the Ukrainians. Like their drone swarms in the south, sending 300-400 FPVs at a time, hitting everything they can see, and then while that's happening, like infantry squads are moving up and occupying the area that just got obliterated by the drones. Like that, have made great gains in the Zaporizhia region by doing that.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Because you're using like 300-400 drones at a time, but you're killing everything down there. Like nothing is.
Did you know the details of that? Because I was listening to Preston about that, Preston Stewart, and they're the Rolling Thunder essentially. But what type of now they say swarms? Now are these a bunch of operators? Was this actual?
It's a bunch of teams.
Teams, yeah, but
Yeah,
we
they're
talk
like
about
gathering well, I'm not sure if I'm supposed to talk about that part yet.
Oh, okay.
I've got a buddy working down there, and
yeah, okay.
he just told me this stuff off the record. I'm not sure if I can chat with you, so I'll put a tab in. I think I can talk about it, but I'll ask him tonight, and then next week we can chat about it. I'll make like a little note about it because it's very interesting stuff that's going on. There's been a lot of like battlefield development in the last like month.
Because part of me is like when people talk about AI or automated, I wouldn't even say AI, automated targeting. You know what I mean? Like, is it, because in my head, it's like, cool, what does artillery do? We put like 6 pieces of artillery together. We start ripping rounds, right? So that's 24, whatever. So when I hear drone swarm, to me, I feel like unless they've developed that technology of quote unquote true drone swarm, i.e. fully automated, I might be wrong. I don't think anyone's there yet, but I might be wrong.
Quite.
Yeah, exactly. So
I think the technology's there. It's just the implementation in like battlefield conditions is not quite up to speed.
Exactly.
Because you can just see like the Chinese drone swarms with like their light shows.
Yeah, but they're
attach RPGs to them.
Exactly. Well, you think though too, like,
software.
But what happens when you put it into combat? Like, how many things are really good until they meet the dirt, wet, sand, and not perfect environments? Like
Russian, Chinese air defense.
Exactly, right. And so when it comes to technology like drones, like I don't buy it until I see it, and even then I don't buy it. But when they said the Rolling Thunder, though, it's like, so part of me was like, okay, you're saying 300 to 400 drones. Is that literally, because this is what I would do. This is me if I was a commander. I'd have 50 drone pilots, and we would do this, and then 50 drones would lift off, and then we would, you would do Rolling Thunder, which is insane because if you had 50 fiber optic drones going, that's 50 targets that's covering your infantry, and then you hit it with artillery, and then there's so much effectiveness you could do. So when they said that, I was like, oh, they're taking a bunch of FPV pilots, which I think you should be doing, and I'm glad that the Ukrainians have taken ground in Zappo. That's essentially what's happening because, like I said, it's a mortar crew that's moving along, or a sniper, however you want to say it, but they're incredibly effective. I think it's super effective. I mean, I don't know if there's anything as light, as cheap, as accurate, and as effective as FPVs right now. Like, I really can't think of anything like direct fire rockets, not javelins.
Like, cost effectiveness. Like you can't compete with it, really.
No, you can't. Even drone droppers, by the way. People keep forgetting about the old school drone droppers.
Those are still used quite a bit.
Yeah, exactly. Like those are super effective too. And by the way, those drones are typically can be used as ISR as well. I mean, the
you can
Mavics,
spot targets with them.
Yeah.
Oh, you see something, I'm just going to drop a grenade on it real quick.
Exactly. Like, oh shit, here's some ordnance just in case I find something. Like that's a super effective thing, you know. So yeah, I know, man. I don't know. That's what I'm saying. But when we come back to Iran and the FPVs, I could see maybe one or two getting through. Like
Yeah,
you
I'm
said, we
not
saw
seeing
that.
anything
Yeah.
like Ukraine. There's not going to be
No.
like stories about Marines sitting in a basement in the oil refinery of Karg Island where it's like we were just getting slammed by drones day and night. It's like
Exactly.
maybe one or two, bro. Like
Yeah, and
It's
maybe
not gonna be-
Shahids. You could see Shahids maybe.
oh,
Like,
tons
you
of
know,
them. I would see
tons of them.
shitloads of them
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, and it'd be interesting too. Like with the Shahids, like we're blowing the crap out of all their stuff. How much do you guys have left? You know what I mean? Like how many? You know, it'd be interesting to be like, how many did they put into production? Because Russia was using so many of them.
I would anticipate they've made like probably a ton of them.
Yeah, you know, like
Because since 2023, you know, like Israel has been stepping up their operations to counter Iran. They're also feeding them to Russia. So I would assume like a ton of their resources went into the creation and further modification of the Shaheds. Because I'm sure like someone in the government was like, maybe Israel's going to make a move on us. You know, we better have like a ton of these.
yeah,
Because
yeah.
they've been arguably more effective than I think missiles have.
Yeah,
At least getting past air defense.
Yeah, which you could, which the irony is they haven't set up the air defense for them. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah,
Like that's what's annoying is you're seeing them. Or I shouldn't say annoying, but it's frustrating is that you're seeing like Qatar and UAE. They're just eating them because there's like they don't have defense, and you're just like, you know, and it's like, dude, all you need is a 50 cal. I shouldn't say only, but you know what I mean? Like it's like you can take these down. You know, like, and we're using like Apaches, like Apache. Like how much is that gunship costing to take down these Shahids, you know, and which is fine, whatever. But, you know, it's effective. It
Still
works.
cheaper than a Patriot missile, probably.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. Just
HIMAR.
yeah, and that's what I'm hoping you get some stories. That's why I was like texting. I was like, dude, you should put out there, see if you could get any pilots to go off the record, be like, dude, we shot down like fucking 7 Shahids in a night, you know, or something like that.
I know the
sick.
HIMARS dudes in Bahrain were shooting down a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
One
Shooting
of my
down?
buddies- shooting like missiles or something. I don't know what they were shooting.
Well, because HIMARS are they hit a naval
Or hitting
target. They
something.
sunk a ship.
They were
Yeah,
hitting
they hit a ship.
lot of
Yeah.
stuff. One of my buddies in Bahrain, he was like working adjacent to them. He was like, they were firing like all day long.
Yeah. Yeah, the HIMARS
all
boys
the
are
all
getting
the
after it.
taxes my family has ever paid in their lives. Just
More
in
than
one
that,
fell swoop.
dude.
Yeah, like his entire lineage back to the Stone Age, all the
Yep.
money they've ever paid for anything,
Yep. No.
getting
that-
launched in one go.
And they are. They're getting after it. So that's what those guys were saying. Oh, that was the other thing I found out too. We had shot the longest artillery round in history ever. Yeah.
How far?
I don't know. Let me Google it quick. Or if I can pull on Instagram. I don't
What
think
was the
I have.
circumstances of that.
Well, it's like those Excalibur rounds.
Oh, okay.
They're precision guided artillery rounds. I could have swore I screenshotted it, but I might be wrong. Because I don't think it's in any of these. Oh, yeah, right here. I have it. Not in regs. U.S. launches longest field artillery strike in combat history against Iran. So let me see if I can find it on Instagram real quick. Naturally, it's not in regs is the place to go to. That's apparently where I'm getting all my information from. How many days? Was that like a few days ago now? Might have been a few days ago already. Because it's not showing up on their main feed. Yeah, it might have been already. That might already happen. Just happened to come across my feed now. See what it says. How many days ago it was? It doesn't. Okay. Not Rick's use. Yeah. It says U.S. launches longest field artillery strike in Army combat history against Iran. CENTCOM says. So
Oh, that's cool.
yeah. I wish you could find the actual post here. But I mean that's impressive. So we got that going for us. Setting records.
The A-10 has entered into yet another war.
Oh my god, dude! The A-10 memes are coming out too.
The A-10 is like the most Nagant of aircraft.
Dude,
Like
she
the
just
list
keeps on
of
giving.
wars. It's just never ending.
Dude, as they shouldn't. I mean, as they
Yeah,
those
I
things,
love. I think they're such cool aircraft.
they're getting after it today in Iraq. They're going in Ramadi. They were like shooting up the PMF or something like that, an Iranian-backed militia. And so that's the other thing too, by the way. That again, this is start. I mean, like I would love to see the web of what's going on at CENTCOM, because like we're not just hitting Iran, we hit targets in Ramadi, Iraq with an A-10 yesterday. So you're like, you know what I mean? So you're like, dude, we're just
Fighting
like
all their proxies too. At the same
yeah,
time.
we're just like, you know, freestyling this motherfucker. like they're like, oh, Iranian proxy, let's go get them. And you're like, this is a whole other country. And
you get an A-10, and you get an A-10.
And they're just, dude, they're just doing the work, doing God's work. So I'm glad the A-10 is getting a lot. They always get love. They were trying to shut them down for decades, and they retire them, bring them back. They think about retiring them, they bring them back, and they're just hammering targets right now. So it'd be. I'm hoping that we do see. Man, I hopefully I hope the internet comes back up in Iran, and we see a bunch of videos of just F-35s and A-10s like just low flying, just burning up targets, you know, in like Tehran. That would be like, that'd be so wild. They're like, oh shit, internet's working. And then they're like, oh, you just see like a flood of like crazy videos of because things are slowly getting out. You know, I guess that's the frustrating part.
Like every now and then,
Yeah.
I'll see something pop up on the internet. But even then, I'm not even sure if I can trust it. You know, like there's so much like
Yeah.
AI stuff coming out. A lot of it's really shitty, and you can tell it's AI stuff. But some of it's like pretty convincing.
Yeah. No, I agree. Actually,
Again,
I will.
some Arma footage made its appearance in yet another war.
Oh my God, dude, that's like.
It's not even good.
No, it's not. It's like when your grandparents send you something, or your parents send you like an AI.
Yeah.
They're like, this cat actually did something. You're like, that's not. That's
Look at these pigs
Arma.
on a trampoline. Wow.
Yeah, like I looked at it, I'm like, this is a fucking video game. And it's getting like shared through all the OSINT channels.
Yeah.
They did that shit at Ukraine right away. You know, there was
yeah,
like
it was
one.
a A-10 or something,
Yeah.
and it was getting chased by like some anti-air.
Yeah.
And you could very clearly see, but it was like shared like 1,000,000 times, and
I know.
it's
And
ridiculous.
it was like, and people were like, oh, that was Arma. I was like, yeah, no shit, it was Arma. Can you like take a little bit better look at what's going? Like I saw it right away. I'm like, this is Arma. Look what the fuck you guys doing. And yeah, I know it's annoying. It's like it's frustrating seeing that. Like you said, it's when your parents send you something like, is this real? And it's like clearly fake. You know, it's like a cat dancing or some shit, and you're like, yeah, this is AI. It's getting people. But yeah, yeah. Anyways, there was it's actually a really good thing that Joe told me, which is actually it was in I think it's in the no, it's in our conversation from yesterday. But good lead in to if you want to find out what Joe said, then you can either go watch the episode or hop us in the exclusive content. So we will switch over, and actually it's pretty cool. It has to do with hacking and actually bringing down their systems. So if you guys want to kind of know that tactic, go ahead, switch over to either Patreon, the Spotify subscription, and or check it out on Vet TV, where you pay a little bit extra, where you get 30 amazing shows, and you will get the full episodes of Into the Breach with myself and Nick, Breaching with the Boys, plus the tentpole episodes that have all the extra content in its entirety ad-free. So go check those out, or just go support the channel. Nick, where can people find you?
You can find me Battles and Beers on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Easy to find.
Awesome. All right, like and subscribe to the channel, and now we're switching over to exclusive content. We can end it on that note. Baby step your way to human rights. Let's, put that down on a t-shirt. So, all right, man. Where can people find you if they're still listening?
They can find me Battles and Beers on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. I'm mostly on Instagram. I'll be stepping into YouTube a bit more. Some stuff has happened in my life, giving me a lot more free time. So expect more content there.
Awesome. Well, if you're already listening to this, it means you're paying for it. So thank you for paying for this. And like and subscribe and go check everything out on YouTube. And you know what? We're exclusive content. So if you made it this far, we love you. Keep listening. Keep supporting the channel. Keep hitting that like and subscribe button. Thank you.